When the night falls, when the shadows grow dark and black, the silent pall of evil settles upon the earth. Who dares to search? Who dares to see what walks in the night? If you dare, welcome to my nightmare. Let's see how Drew the dog's doing this fine July morning. How you doing there, Drew? She's exhausted. We went on a long walk this morning. All is right with the world here in Mount Gratu, Georgia. Up here in the mountainous jungles of Georgia, we have been doing a lot of thinking. There's this, this, at one point, I've got a shower curtain hanging here, but this used to be the front porch of the house at some point. Previous humans have enclosed it with glass. And I was thinking, since this area is zoned residential and commercial, I could turn this little area into a comic book store or sell other kinds of junk and trinkets, sold records and stuff. So I'll just move this fake waterfall that's broken anyway. Let's maybe take it to the garage. Right now I just got little cavemen and cave women and stuff. Yeah, I mean, I could clear this out in about 5 minutes, and what we'll do is we can sell old comics here. Drew's watching out for villainous scum. Actually, there are no villainous scum here. This is a wonderful area. Occasionally, on these cobblestone roads, you'll see an Amish guy with his horse and buggy, and horses and buggies sound so cool on cobblestone roads. It's a lot better than the old country where we moved from, where I would hear guys walk down the street saying, "I'm gonna fuck every woman here, I'm gonna kill all of you." You know, it's like when Travis Bickle was driving down the streets of New York, the things he'd hear, the crazy drug fiends walking down the street, just, "I'm gonna kill him, I'm gonna fuck, I'm gonna kill," just like all of a sudden I'm seeing that in my old neighborhood. You knew that it's about time to, what is this shit? Star Trek Picard. Fuck this commercial. Just the noise of that fucking commercial is probably going to get me a...
Well, I was swimming up some rapids one day. Everybody else was coming down in their whitewater raft.
Anyway, so how are you guys doing today? I got a wonderful... I won a prize from Nighttiger Comics on YouTube during one of his great live streams, and I won 2 comics, and I had already had one of them. So I was talking to him about that on Instagram, and he said, "Well, here, I'll swap it out for another comic." He said, "How about a 1960s Thor?" And he showed me the Thor, and it was one I had. So, I was talking to him Friday night for a long time, and he said, "Well, here, look at these books. Do you have this one?" And then, we talked for a long time, and he says, "Here, I'll throw these extra books in." So it's like, if you had to pick between this Golden Age comic and this one, which one would you pick? And I'd say, "Well, let's see that one." And so he threw an extra 2 books in to the box. So I thought I would do a quick unboxing of a combination. I guess I would make it a combination prize winning and AOK, which stands for act of kindness. I don't know if that is an acronym that's exclusive to the comic book community, or if that's used by normal people as well. But I've learned that AOK means act of kindness, and a bunch of people have sent me AOKs, Captain Strangeliffe, Graphic Man, all these people, Charlton 66, and anyway, here's the package. I need to send AOKs back, but now that I'm starting to get organized, actually, I want you to see, I'm really proud, you saw the porch there. I tend to use camera angles where I don't really show how bad things look, with the unpacking, but I got all this area clear. I've got the Christmas tree up because, it's less than 6 months till Christmas. So, got all this, and then everything's pretty somewhat clear in this area, which is where we do most of our TV viewing and stuff. So I'm proud of this. And what I don't show you very often is this hoard that's partially been unboxed, and all of this has to be moved upstairs or put on bookshelves that I don't own yet. So I've got all of this stuff. This is what I've been doing. And then in here, there's still more stuff. And then the garage has got a lot of stuff too. So this is kind of a library here. But, you know, it's just, it's a work in progress. Every day I get a little bit done. Some days more than others. But I was really proud that I got this. Because, you know, when all this is cleared, this is going to be a really magnificent space. You know, where, you know, a band could perform here. Actually, one thing I'm thinking of doing is, what is this shit? Oh, goddamn. Fuck this shit, man. Harley Quinn cartoon. There's like this X-rated R-rated Harley Quinn cartoon they show on TV that's just disgusting. Anyway, I've got this video projector on this movable cart that's on wheels, and what I'll do is I'll put that cart right about here, and I'm planning to project over here and have a screen about here. Either, I think, you know, for like $100 you can get a blow-up drive-in screen from Amazon, and I could have it here, and then we could watch big screen movies here. So anyway, and then in this room, there's still stuff that I'm trying to get up on the floor. I'm trying to figure out a place to put this cuckoo clock. You know, but gradually it's coming along. Still got to hang these pictures up. Still haven't done that. So, anyway. Maybe, we'll see how things go. So, oh, anyway, the AOK. Let's unbox and see what we got. Where did I put the box? Seriously, where did I put the box? You know, Pepsi always tried to market itself as the drink for the new generation, for the young people, that Coke was this old-fashioned drink that your parents, your grandparents drank. So Pepsi, you know, you're the Pepsi generation, you're the new generation. This is Joni Summers singing here. But Coca-Cola had a jingle around 1973, 74, Coke adds life. And they, you know, translated it and had billboards in China. But the translation, didn't quite work, because the Chinese people read the billboard and it said, Coke brings your ancestors back to life, or brings them back from the dead. So that wasn't probably, you know, they had to change it. They didn't translate it properly. Let's see what we got. So originally, I already opened the box, because it's, you know, people that know how to pack, they use a lot of tape, and you don't really want to see me trying to open all the tape. But it's just, anyway. So first thing I got was this Creatures on the Loose number 12. And so I don't think I have this one. If I do, I don't think it's in this condition. So this is was one of the things I won. And the other one was when Silver Sable first appeared in The Amazing Spider-Man. That issue's somewhat valuable, and then they reprinted it, and you can and he had the reprint. That was this this July 1971 Creatures on the Loose and that Silver Sable reprint. But I was telling him I have the original Spider-Man where she first appeared, and I have the reprint. And then I have another reprint of it from Marvel Tales. So I have 3 different versions, and so he said, it's cool. Yeah. Yeah, anyway. The other thing he replaced it with is this, which to me is an amazing, I mean, this is amazing, this cover. Look at that. House of Secrets number 72. I mean, look at that. Incredible. Touching the shores of the bay are 3 of the original colors. And then the other 2 comics he sent me. Here's Toy Town.
There's Fort McHenry, where by the dawn's early light, Francis Scott Key penned the words to our national anthem. There is historic Annapolis.
From May of 1947, it's Toy Town number 7, and it's got L.B. Cole interior art. And thrilling cases of police action, police against crime. So now, it's great stuff. Oh, look how their logo looks like the EC logo. I bet that fooled a few kids. Sorry, I'm just coming back from the monkeypox. Absolutely. All right, so. So, we have more comics to go file upstairs. I'm recording all these old commercials. I found another source on YouTube for old radio spots yesterday, and of course, so when I find that, I record them. So I've got a 6-hour, I've got a DVD-R and the 6-hour speed recording. Here's the recorder. It's a Toshiba recorder, and I've been recording for 1 hour and 39 minutes this morning, and looks like I've got 0 minutes left, so it's just about to end. And then I'll have about 6 hours and 5 minutes of cool old commercials and music that I can entertain myself with or play in the background during future installments of this award-winning television program. But anyway, last night we had the big 4-Color Fossils anniversary show. It was a little bit, just about a year, maybe a little bit more than that, since the first episode of Graphic Man's 4-Color Fossils show. So we had this big celebration, all the original 4-Color Fossils and people that have joined over the ensuing year, and a lot of people were showing off annuals. A lot of them annuals, Marvel annuals from the 60s. And I showed some Famous Monsters and Mad Magazine annuals, which I still have out, so I'll probably show you those while I file them back into the boxes, and then I've got a lot of work to do. I've got to see all of this stuff here. I've got to put on that elevator and take up to either take up to the 3rd floor, or I've got to take it down to the basement because I can't leave this shit here. And so it's just a gradual process. I'm just waiting for this disc to end. So anyway, let's take a little tour around while we're waiting for this to end. So, here's a picture of my wife when she was a little kid. Let's see if you can see that. Next to a cigar store Indian or something. And listen, if you will, to some examples of our radio ballads, telling the traditional story of national living from the Chesapeake Bay. Do you guys know about these little Martian, these tiny little Martian men? Let's see if the camera focuses on that.
Long before the days of the first Thanksgiving, they came to the land of pleasant living.
It's a little Martian. I've got some more over here. Oh, it just finished. So I'll stop that. And then what you do when you finish is it writes to disk. You know, this is a DVD recorder. They don't make them in the U.S. anymore because they want you to not own anything. It's part of Klaus Schwab's Build Back Better program. They want you to rent everything or to stream everything. But I'm a collector, and so I have to finalize disc, yes, and then it'll take a minute or so to finalize it. But let me show you who this guy is in case you want to see. There's all these great commercials. I was listening to Pontiac jingles. Okay, so his name, go to channel. His name is Joe Evelius. Joe Evelius. Evelius. Look him up. He's got like an amazing amount of stuff. So, oh, I was going to show you the other Martian men. Okay, see, there's this, man, I can't believe she got fucked up in the move. Maybe I can retouch that with some acrylic paint. I don't know if you can focus on this. I did research once and I found out what these were called, and I'd like to get more of them. These were handed down to me from my brother. They're from the 60s. But he had tons of little army men. But he also had just a few of these little Martians. So he must have bought a pack of them. All right. You know, that climate change is horrible, isn't it? Gosh. Have you heard about that? There's been everyone's talking about climate change. About terrible. It's horrifying. All right, so now it's okay. So today's July 21st. Now I know the date because it says it here. All right, so Joe Evelius. All right. Well, let's head on up. Bring these new comics, get my water, and I better do my part to end climate change, which this horrible Putin guy, I hear that he's responsible for everything wrong with the gas prices, that Putin caused Hunter Biden to take his clothes off all the time on camera and take drugs, and Putin caused the sun to get too hot and the snow to get too cold, man. He's a bad motherfucker. He's worse than Ming the Merciless. All right. Well, we're back. Okay, so this is the room that I have decided to keep most of the comic book collection in. So I got all this stuff organized. Then I'm bringing in boxes from the other room and putting them into these boxes. Then I'm moving the Silver Age stuff into this room and putting it here. So this is all part of the nightmare. So I'm just going to let you have this door slightly open, because if I don't, air conditioning doesn't get into this closet because it doesn't. So anyway, I was in here yesterday pulling out some famous monsters. Now I got to put them back in. All right. So this is this will be organized at some point in the future, and then it's all nightmarish. But soon, all of these boxes and everything will be in that back of that other room you were just in, and this is the guest bedroom, and then all these boxes are what I've been organizing in here. And then this will all wind up in the other room. You know, so I'm kind of processing it all is what I'm doing. And eventually it'll be okay. And then I've got to clear out this room, because this is going to be my wife's desk, and now it's got robots and stuff on it. But trust me, it's getting better. We're gradually building back better. In the words of the immortal Klaus Schwab, we're building back better. He's the true genius behind. You thought Joe Biden was the genius that came up with Build Back Better. That it was Klaus Schwab, the wonderful Klaus Schwab. We all love him here on the Garage Warlock channel. Okay. I'll set this fucking thing here. No, I won't. I don't know where to put it. Okay, well let's get these books somewhere. Creatures on the Loose. I've got some Silver Age books here that haven't been put in with the other Silver Age books yet. I've got, they're ready to be put in there. Okay. Iron Man, Kid. Okay, so Creatures on the Loose, we go here. Actually, let's see if we can find the Silver Age box that's C. Yeah, look, Batman to Creatures on the Loose. This is really one of the stupidest things I've done, is I wrote what Fantastic Four to Hawkman, and then I got more comics, tried to shift them, and then so now it's Fantastic Four to Flash, and I have to, here it's Superman to DC Special, and then I had to cross it out. So yeah, it's better to number boxes. It's cool to see how other people do their organization. Most people hide this stuff. It was really cool. Dr. Silverage did a video a week ago where he showed how his basement is organized. Before he's in the process of organizing it even more, but it's very organized to me. So anyway, but it's cool to see the behind the scenes and other people's collections. See, this is a tiny short box. Some of these short boxes are shorter than others. Yeah, that's really a pain. Anyway. Yeah, these short boxes are better than long boxes, but there's not a long boxes. There's a consistent length of a long box, but it seems like there's two different sizes of these short boxes. Okay, let's see if I have. There's Captain America, Conan. Okay, Creatures on the Loose. Looks like I have number 10 with King Cole. And I have It looks like I have 2 issues of number 11. 2 copies, rather, of number 11. Moomba is here. So 12 will now be added to the collection. Let's look at it first. Let's go in the other room where we have more light. All right. Oh, this is cool. I'm wondering if, oh, looks like some little kid had a red marker and has embellished Corilla's eyes throughout the story. Well, Corilla is Corilla. I guess that's killer gorilla meshed together. Yeah, all the Corillas have red eyes now. First I thought, well, is that real? But look at this. Frankenstein head has also been embellished. So I guess you would call this a restored copy. Some kid has decided to build it back better, to make it even better than it was. But it's that gives this comic history. Some kid loved it enough to make it even better. Here's another Marvel masterwork, Where Creatures Roam, number 7. That's great. That's a great name for a monster. Glop. You know, I love things like that. I just love their faces. I love the advertisements so much in old comics. Yeah, well, some kid embellished it a bit. That's all right. Oh, they even did it to the cover a little bit. Let's take a look here. See, he's I guess he put a little blood on the guy's face and in his mouth. But this is all part of right about this time is when the comics code relaxed a little bit, and as far as horror goes, so Marvel immediately started reprinting some of the horror books and started doing a lot of monster comics, and DC started to with House of Mystery and all that. Now DC, they did original stories, House of Mystery, House of Secrets, all those, Witching Hour, and Joe Orlando was over some of those books, and he was an EC veteran. So it was so they did a really cool job of trying to recreate the feel of EC with Bernie Wrightson's art and a lot of that. But Marvel tended to do more reprints. But both companies are trying to cash in on, hey, we can do monsters again. Okay, those other 3 books, where'd they go? Oh, I gotta, hold on. Shit. Here's a cool cover. Tomahawk and his Rip-Roaring Rangers, number 104. This is one of the books I need to file. That I pulled it. I was gonna maybe show it last night on Graphic Man's show, but I decided not to. Okay. I pulled this one to show it too, but I think 2 or 3 other people showed it. So, because a lot of people pulled Thor annuals last night. And I think I realized last night that I've got tons of Thors from the mid-60s but I don't think I have that Journey into Mystery annual with the first appearance of Hercules. Everybody was showing that one last night, and that's something I need to find. Okay, here's Tales to Astonish 101. This is a great cover. The Hulk and the Rainbow Bridge. The Rainbow Bridge is taking on a new connotation. I used to just think of Thor when I thought of the Rainbow Bridge. Now, pet owners, always say, well, Fido crossed the Rainbow Bridge, and that's where the pets go when they pass away. So now I hear Rainbow Bridge, and it makes me want to tear up. When it just was Rainbow Bridge, cool. Okay. Oh. House of Secrets. This doesn't look like a kid altered it with red. Let's take these books into the other room where there's more light. That's cool. The Rinks Records people did a... well, this is North to Alaska. Yeah, North to Alaska. Or is it? Yeah. Okay, yeah. Wait. Yeah, North to Alaska. I was thinking, is it the theme to the Alamo with John Wayne, or is it North to Alaska? But it's North to Alaska, because they also do the theme to the Alamo. And I'm still waiting to go see John Wayne's birthplace, which is real close to here, Winterset, Georgia. And John Wayne's house, where he lived from the time he was a baby, is there, and I don't know if you can go inside it, but I know you can see out the outside of it, and they must let you in. They have a shed in the backyard with one of the cannons that was used in the Alamo movie in it, and they have a great town square. I mean, I've seen it on YouTube, is why I know about it, and they have an old drugstore exactly as it was 60, 70 years ago with the soda fountain and everything. Okay, House of Secrets number 72. This beautiful cover. It is almost 10 o'clock here on this beautiful July 21st. Ooh, this is a nice copy, sort of. Yeah, it's a nice copy. It's got a little bit of dirt there, but it's a very tight, nice, glossy copy. That can be cleaned up very easily. House of Secrets 72. Yeah, this is the type of book I normally get about in this condition. There's a G.I. Joe ad, early G.I. Joe ad. This is, I would bet this is from about 65. Okay, my magnifying glass, where is it? Sometimes light will help. 63. No, that can't be 60. Can't be 63 with a G.I. Joe. That has to be a 5. Yeah, that's a 5. Damn, my eyes. Yeah, G.I. Joe is not around in 63. It's May, June 65. Oh, cool. You know why that's cool? I was born in April of 65. So, very likely this was on the spinner rack. This was on the newsstand when, at the time I was born, because comics were always dated a month or 2 months ahead. So in April of 65, the June of 65 comics would have been on the stand. So this June of 65 was about 6 months before the Batman TV show premiered, but they knew that was going to happen, so they, this model kit was already on the market. One of the first things you could buy when Batman hit the the airwaves in January of '66. The yellow oval on Batman's chest was a new thing. Uh, Traditionally in the comics, Batman just had a black bat. And then I think in '64, Batman started a new look, and they tried to make the stories more detective stories and less, Batman going into outer space and all that kind of silly. I mean, you can say it's silly. I guess it's silly. I mean, it's a comic book. So they started the TV show, so for about a year, Batman had become more serious in the comics, and then the show started, and the show was based on the comics the way they had traditionally been, which is crazy. And so it was a crazy TV show, so they had to suddenly pivot back and make Batman crazy again. But that's why the TV show has the yellow oval. That was a brand new thing that had only been in the comics for about a year when the TV show started. There's early screen tests you can see on YouTube where Lyle Wagner, that was on the Carol Burnett show, and Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman, he there's an early screen test where he's dressed as Batman. He was one of the original people they were thinking to make Batman because he looks like a superhero, the square chin, jaw, and everything. And they have him in a Batman suit that's more accurate. I mean, it was actually better, and it had the black, without the yellow oval, the black bat. And I think his cowl was better too. And they had a different guy playing Robin too. They were testing them out. Ultimately, Adam West was the better choice. God, I look terrible, man. I don't know. I don't think I got enough sleep last night. Looking at myself in the camera here. Anyway, that's the story on this. So this is a comic book. I've often thought I should get a whole bunch of comics from around June of '65. And fill the spinner rack I have downstairs with them so it would look like a spinner rack on the day I was born. You can do that on mycomicshop.com. There's all kinds of filters on there, and you can filter out. And just look for comics from a particular month and year. This must be the type of bags that Captain Strangelife's talking about. These must be those, because he talks about bags that you don't need tape, and he cuts the edges because they're stiffer. Because all I've ever used are these crummy bags that my comics store carried, and years ago I got a whole bunch of Mylites when those were first invented from Lone Star Comics that were thin, and so I don't have much. I guess these are more expensive, and I need to find out a way to order them. I think I've heard from that Gerber sells them. So the Gerber Baby Food Company sells those bags. Just kidding. Okay, so a riot of fun and adventure. They had some of those summer before last. Remember, they had those riots of fun and adventure, but they were mostly peaceful. So. This is fucking cool. Look at this. The first thing I look at are the ads. So this makes me think, oh, it's May of '47. It's almost the 50s. Up and Atom, the Atomic Kid. Yeah. I don't have a lot of comics from the 40s. It's really, look how they just have blank space there. It's really kind of a trip to handle a comic from that far back, because you're handling a comic that's 47. That's like, is that like 70 years ago? Let's see. 45. In a few years, this comic's going to be 80 years old. And so, collecting Golden Age comics is the work of saints. It's you're a historian. You're preserving history. Let me show you too how to make yourself commando tough. You know, it's just a couple of years after World War II. So yeah, this is a wonderful, funny animal comic. The art's fantastic. Yeah, this is great. Oh yeah, look at this. This is just insane, wonderful art. Look at that. 1947, man. So that means my 47. Let's see, I think my dad was born in 1929, so he would have been just graduating high school, I guess, when this comic came out. And my mom, she was born in 27, so she would have been 20 when this comic came out. Yeah, cool as hell. And that's just a comic he threw in free. This one looks to be brittle because I see little pieces inside the bag. Yeah, other pieces there, so I need to be really careful handling this. June of 55. This is not my Light 2. This is a different kind of bag. Okay, let's be real careful. Police Against Crime. I love crime comics, horror comics. Yeah, I mean the interior pages do not feel brittle. It's apparently the cover that's more brittle. It has the little chipping at the top and around that is tends to happen with older Marvel comics, but the book inside, the pages feel very supple and smooth. Yeah. What is that? Someone actually put this page into a typewriter and typed on it. How the hell would you have done that? It says, Philip Thompson is a pretty good person. I think so if you know him as good as I do. But not. So this must have belonged to someone named Philip Thompson. Maybe he had this comic in typing class. And how do you do that? I guess you. Okay, I see how you could do it. Just feed the comic down this way into the little. I've never seen someone type on an interior page though. June 1955, ladies and gentlemen. So, here's the Crusaders, Chaos. Doctor, the babies, they're all missing. That's impossible. These Crusaders comics are from the Jack Schick Company. And the Crusaders were a team of rugged heroes that tended to involve themselves in, let you know, they're talking about the book of Revelations. It says, World War III begins when Russia, Magog, invades Israel. It's a one-day thermonuclear war. 1/4 of those living on the earth will die. Revelation 6.8. 1/3 of the fish are destroyed. 1/3 of the ships are destroyed. 1/3 of the trees and grass are destroyed. Yeah, well, 2,600 years ago, Ezekiel predicted Russia would be stopped on the mountains of Israel. This will occur at World War III. Anyway, there's lots of Bible lessons, but it's about the Crusaders. I guess that's showing how the universe was formed. But yeah, this is, the artwork's not bad, but they're trying to get, this company, Jack Chick, also made those little, you find them at bus stops and gas stations. They're little books, there was one right over here. Oh, there it is. I got shit everywhere, luckily. The Jack Chick Company make these Chick publications. They're always very well drawn. This is the one where this worries every guy. The guy's going, nice. What's going on is this guy's passed away, and he's there, and they show on a movie screen, this was your life. They show him as a baby. He sees his whole life, and he sees that there you are as a teenager, and he's saying, hey guys, this is the dirtiest story I've ever heard. It goes like this. And he says, stop, gasp, not that story, not here. So he's telling a dirty story, and then he's looking at this girl. He says, I remember doing that, but no one saw me. And so he remembers all the horrible shit he did during his life, but just about every guy has, looked at some girl walking down the street, and then you read this Jack Chick tract and you go, holy shoot, I did that. And he says, open the book of life. His name does not appear. And then these things are really scary, these are, so he's thrown into flames. That's that. These are some of the books I'm organizing here. Got the independent stuff here, and okay, let's go back into the other room. Well, tonight on primetime television, they're going to be showing the January 6th show trial, where they're going to try to they're really scared of Donald Trump getting back into office. They had all these plans that Donald Trump ruined a lot of their plans, and now they're having to work really hard to convince us that we need to eat bugs and we need to stop. All you need to do, Boot Edge says, is just buy a $70,000 electric car. What's wrong with you? And then people say, well, how do you power the electric car exactly? Don't you need electricity? And where does the electricity come from? Coal and oil. But anyway, we'll see. Every day is something. It's just like, all right. Right now, they're really pushing the climate change thing so much that it's just ludicrous. And people buy into it, Okay, so let's get this House of Secrets filed under House. Where are these, man? Silver Age. What is this box? Metal Men. Detective Comics to Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four Flash. Okay, let's see what's in this box down here. Not Brand X to Star Spangled. That's not right. What are these books? Oh, it's World's Finest number 209. Let's put that over here. And then I got a bunch of coverless Silver Age DC comics here. Now, they're okay reading copies. They used to have a store called Lone Star Comics. It is now mycomicshop.com. But what they would do is they would sell wrapped, where you couldn't really tell what it is. There'd be a big stack of comics, but it would be about this high, right? And you'd spend about $9 and get about this much comics. And they'd be coverless or damaged in some way, or maybe drawn on to the point where they just figure we can't sell this in the store. So then they called the pack Wounded Wonders. And one time, I was going to show these last night. I got one of those packs, and there were just front covers only of some EC comics. They were just, all they had was the covers. So, and I put them in these little cheap frames. And I was thinking of putting them up on the wall in here. So here's and they're all beat up. Here's the cover to Weird Science number 12. That was in one of the Wounded Wonder packs. And Weird Science number 22. And The Haunt of Fear 19. That's cool, man. Just cut off two people's heads at once. Look, he's got a double-bladed axe. That is really cool. But I could see a parent or someone or a teacher looking at that cover and just thinking, that's really fucking twisted. I mean, I guess I could kind of see, someone like June Cleaver looking at those comics and thinking, what is the beaver reading? Of course, Beaver Cleaver would have been too young to read the EC comics. Okay, I'm trying to find an H box. Okay. But while I'm doing that, maybe I can find something to show you. What's entertaining in this box? I'll show you my oldest detective comics. Must be this issue. But I don't have any light in here, so it looks shitty. Yeah, you gotta label these boxes, even if it gets annoying, because now see, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, this box has hardly any comics in it. Oh, yeah. There's these Marvel Collector's Item Classics books. This box is labeled Superman. And it is indeed Superman. Around this time, I was talking about this last night. Every summer, the annuals would come out, and in the Justice League comics, some crisis would happen that would force the heroes of two different Earths to unite. The heroes of the Justice League and the Justice Society, and I thought that was so cool that you'd have. Because some of the heroes were different, like the Flash in the Justice Society and the Flash in the Justice League were actually different people and had different costumes. Same thing with Green Lantern, different origin and everything. But Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman, they were very similar, except the Justice Society Batman was about 20 years older, and same with Superman. Wonder Woman looked the same, except for her costume was slightly different because she was immortal. And I thought that was just such a cool idea. The Justice League and Justice Society every summer teamed up for some annual summer problem. It's amazing how a problem was just, just happened to happen every June. There would be some cosmic problem. It's kind of like the way the world is today. It's just like all of a sudden, hey, we need to do something. Let's create problems, and then we'll offer a solution. And then everyone will say, oh, yeah, green energy, whatever. But first we'll have to burn down some food plants and create a famine, and maybe we'll have an explosion at the Hoover Dam, and then we'll have a baby food shortage, and let's bring up the price of oil, and it's like then maybe then people will realize we'll offer them a solution. Hey, we'll declare a climate emergency. But anyway, it's all very well timed. Every summer there'd be a problem, and those were wonderful times until DC decided it's too confusing for new readers to have different Supermans. Let's collapse everything into just one Earth instead of having all these multiple Earths. So they did Crisis on Infinite Earths and destroyed all the stories of my childhood. And it was a wonderful comic. It was drawn beautifully and written well, but in the meantime, they were killing off everything I loved, but in a beautiful way. So I didn't like that shit, and it's one of the things that started to drive me away from all of this. So I like old comics. I don't really give a shit about new comics really at all. Okay, that's Metal Men and Plastic to Plastic Man. I need to write this. M to P. Okay, sorry. Well, I see that there's a state fair coming up in early August. I'd like to go to that, but my wife's going through physical therapy. She's trying to get back from a back injury, and she wouldn't be able to walk around, and I really don't want to go to the state fair without her. Okay, this is not Brand X, and it goes through Showcase to Star Spangled. What? Oh, okay. What was it? Oh. Not Brand. God damn it. Star Spangled. So where is the fucking box with the H boxes, the H stuff in it? Not that one. That's Metamorpho. Where creatures roam. Okay, this is one of those mysteries wrapped inside an enigma and a riddle and all that stuff. Wow. I bet I pulled it out yesterday. No? Oh, well. Oh, maybe it's still in the other room. That could be. I was moving all these Silver Age books from in here because I want to clear that room out so my wife can turn it into her war room, her office. And she's got to do some online thing she's got to do every few years to renew her cosmetology license. So she needs a space to do that. Okay. This box says Aquaman to Batlash. So that's not going to be the H comic books. Let's move it anyway. Okay, I got some Superboy comics here. Tales from the Crypt reprint. A couple of, okay, same, and some Warlords. Okay, Aquaman to Batlash. This is Avengers number. This is not. See here, this is not what you think, but I think this has value anyway. This is, you notice there's no price on it. This came with the book and record set. This one has a little missing part. This one's in better shape, but it's a reprint, but it's from the 60s. That's why it still looks like it has some age to it, but it came in the book and record set. The book and record set is, you thought the Power record sets were badly acted when you were a kid? This makes that record that this came with made those Power records seem like masterpiece theater. I mean, it's really bad. Every voice is badly chosen. It doesn't have cool music. It's really amazing because you think something from the 60s is going to be great. An adaptation of that Avengers story, but it's just not done right. It really makes you appreciate the Power records that you had as a kid. Okay. Let's start getting these books put up. There's Blazing Battle Tales starring Sergeant Hawk. This is from the Atlas Seaboard Company, and I keep those separate. Okay, let me take these into the closet, which is where I pulled them out. I tend to, Graphic Man has a show on Wednesday nights, and what I'll do is I'll be like some bad kid in school that starts studying for the test 5 minutes before the test. And it's like I came back from the Dairy Sweet, which is like a tasty freeze with my wife. And I had just a few minutes, and I had to walk the dog, and then I had to get on the Graphic Man show, and I had to find some books like real quick. And I just pulled some right out of this box here. So we're back in a closet. You see this this house used to be a funeral home. I don't wonder if they kept bodies on this thing here. I don't know what it was used for. But now it's used for Famous Monsters, Vampirella, and Mad Magazine. How about that? I was showing, this is one of my favorite things in the world, this art for Castle of Frankenstein, number 18. Let's see. This Pac-Man appearing on the cover of Mad. Okay, so this is Famous Monsters when they brought it back, and it wasn't as good. That's Close Encounters. Okay, Star Wars Spectacular. This is I love how this date stamps on Dracula's forehead. Curse of Frankenstein, Horror of Dracula. That's 169. Okay, so here I'm going to put, this is Dick Smith put out this a few years before he did the makeup for Dark Shadows, turning him into an old man, and then he turned Dustin Hoffman into an old man in Little Big Man, and then he of course did The Exorcist. I won an Academy Award for that. Here's annual The Worst for Mad, number 12. This is the great one that has It's a Gas in it. The famous record. Look up Alfred E. Newman, It's a Gas on YouTube. It's a great record. So this is the 9th one. That is the 12th one. This is the 11th. I got to get them back in order. And here's the 8th annual Worst for Mad. This is a different. That's called The Worst for Mad. This is Mad Follies. This is the 3rd annual, 6th annual. Okay, put those there. And I've got to get these famous monsters back in here. This is the Fear Book 1970. The 1969 Fear Book. This is the peak of everything I love. 1965. It was a wonderful time. Look at the monster wallets and wall plaques that were 3D you could get. This is the Famous Monsters at its peak. You get these t-shirts. The ads in the back of Famous Monsters were wonderful. They had a record album. This is the very peak of everything that was cool, 1965. The only problem, it was like a perfect time. The only problem was the escalating Vietnam War and the fact that you had LBJ in office and he was doing everything he could to destroy the poor, and he hurt a lot of people by, there was a financial incentive from the government for fathers not to be in the household. So when he did that, it caused a lot of kids to grow up in homes with only a single mother, and thus it brought crime up. But what the whole idea was to keep people dependent on the government so they would continually vote for Democrats. It was a racist move from the party of the Ku Klux Klan. The Democrats were behind all that. Remember that Lincoln was a Republican. Not that the Republicans are perfect, they certainly aren't. Okay, so this one and this one. This is James Bama art. This one is not in very good shape. But anytime, Captain Strangelove was talking about how expensive these are now. Low battery. It says I have low battery on the camera. It's amazing. I better go plug it in. This is this is the 1968 yearbook. Let's go get plugged in, tuned in, turned on. Here's the 66 yearbook. Of course, the Vietnam War was Democrat authored, and the war on poverty, what was it? Trust me, things. There are people that have an agenda to destroy our country. All right. But good old Santa Claus, they'll never stop Santa Claus, man. He sticks it to the man. All right. So we got those books up. That's one thing that was concerning me. Oh, and drag cartoons. I got that out of this box over here, I think. Yeah, I think so. I'll just set it here. There's another subtract. These are books I was showing last night, and what tends to happen is I'll pull books out to show them on the Wednesday night show, and then they don't get put back, and then I'm wondering for, it takes me a long time to figure out where certain books have gone. And then you move, and then it becomes a nightmare. There's a book I can't find, and I couldn't find it before I moved, and now it's even harder. And it's, I bought it when I was a kid. It was the All-Star Comics, where Power Girl first appears from like 1975. I know I've got that book, but I'm wondering if it's in a magazine box in between magazines or something, because it's just not findable. Gotta turn the music up to hear it in the other room. I don't know if anyone else likes 1950s and 60s roller rink music, but it's, I know there was a guy that ran a record store back in the old country. He would, when he saw one of these records on the Rinks Records label, he would smash it. It made him so angry that they were, taking rock and roll music and turning into this roller rink organ music. Yeah, he did not like it. But he's passed on. But he had a he was an interesting character. He was Richard Latanzi, and he was one of these guys that was there at the time at the Gene Vincent concerts, cutting up the seats, and he was a 1950s hoodlum. Well, he went on to become like a manager of a Safeway, and then he opened his own record store. And his record store, he would, if he liked you, it's great. But, if you start looking at the 1950s records, sometimes he said, "Get your mitts off my 50s." He doesn't want people touching it. Some people he liked, some people he'd pull guns on, tell them to get out of his store. There was a kung fu studio next door to the record shop, and some guy came in barefoot from the martial arts place next door, and he pulled a gun on him and said, "Get your dirty feet off my floor." Yeah, it was a nice record store. But what am I talking about? I have this new case on the phone, and it only allows this tiny cord to fit in. I don't know where to fucking move this phone. Trying to get a little bit of Okay, I got a little bit of electricity. I need to charge this phone up better before I start these videos. Okay. Oh, I was going to show you something. I've talked about these JCPenney Marvel reprints. They're exact. See, if you just saw these, if this was on a wall in a comic store or at a convention, you might think, what a great condition copy of X-Men 28, and you might just buy it instantly and not open it up. Because this is something that could fool people. You open it up, you see, oh, it's got a Stridex ad from the 90s on the back. What the heck? And it's, of course, it's the comic, right? But it's a JCPenney in their catalog. See, oh, well, how's Wolverine? An ad with Wolverine on it in a comic from the mid-60s. But I have a little tiny thing there that says second printing. And these were sold to the catalog. It was like, I forget what they called them. But there was about at least 10 different Marvel comics that they reprinted. One was from the 40s, I think a Young Men comic with the Human Torch, or maybe from the early 50s. Anyway, so this is not real, although I think it has some value. My understanding is that they're starting to go up in value. This one is real, See, this is in these old Mylight bags that I bought back in the late 80s. The bag has stayed good, but I mean, I agree with Captain Strangelove. The ones that are thicker that they make now, called Mylights too, are better. I need to get some. See, the real one has this amazing ad for the Aurora model kits on the back. And this is actually in pretty damn good shape. I bought this at Lone Star Comics years ago, and but yeah, it's got an ad for the Marvel superheroes cart. So this is the beginning of 1960, late 1966, September 7. This is probably came out summer of '66. So it's just something you gotta be careful of, because you can get tricked on that. So, how about that? Okay, these are books I pulled out last night to show on Graphic Man's show. See, this tells the origin of Nick Fury's eye patch and how a cat belonging to a girl scratched his eye. No, it actually is the real story. See, you can see why they cast Samuel L. Jackson, because he looks like an absolute doppelganger of the drawing. Marvel Tales, this reprints the origin of the Avengers, the origin of the X-Men. This is a low-grade copy. It's what I could afford. This reprints the Hulk, where he's forced to dress like a clown, which is why there's the line in the 1966 Marvel cartoons opening credits song, "He's no monster clown." It came from the guy that wrote the song having this comic to do his research. And here's this wonderful comic. I just think it's great condition with this beautiful, just great looking book. These are books I need to file. Here's Humbug. This is smaller in size than a regular comic. See. It was Harvey Kurtzman, created Mad and left, and just like, screw you, I'll create my own new magazine. And he created Humbug and Trump. I think Trump was the one he did with Hugh Hefner's money, so it was like super nice paper and everything, but it didn't sell well enough. And he, one thing is, it's got beautiful artwork from Will Elder. Harvey Kurtzman in Mad did not want to use the standard EC lettering. He wanted to use so he didn't. But in this, the thing that's off-putting is to me is the lettering is like a typeset. But anyway, it's a black and white magazine, tiny sized, but it's from 1957, and it just didn't take off like Mad did. In the 60s, he tried doing Help, and then Hugh Hefner brought him back and had him do Little Annie Fanny with Will Elder, and they just did that for decades. And it's a living. You get paid a lot of money to do that. I was showing these Archie comics last night. This is pre-code 1950s Archie. Kind of had a Bucky Beaver kind of a grin. Here's this kid just found out he was drafted into the Korean War. He's upset. But the thing about these, as you saw in the Mad Magazine parody of Archie, which was called Starchy, Will Elder and Harvey Kurtzman pointed out the attention that was paid in these pre-code comics to the girl's breasts are very perky. And Not that there's anything wrong with that. But I'll show you. That was issue number 3. By issue 11, you know, they've got a comics code. And then, you know, you don't really see much. You know, they're being very careful about the about that. I mean, it's just like not as much attention to the to that. And by the 1970s, look at Archie Comics. This is Archie under the Red Circle Comics group. That was Archie. Look at this cool gray Morrow cover. I was showing this last night. So those are Archie Comics. So you gotta get those into the Archie closet. Okay, I gotta get these. Shit. All right, let's go back into the other room. Maybe we need to charge this phone too a little bit more. I still haven't eaten breakfast, and it's getting late. Okay. So, okay, I know where to put the X-Men. Humbug, it goes over here. I'm starting to get more organized. I'm starting to get real confident about that. Rawhide Kid goes there. Marble Tail Sergeant Fury goes there. Okay, I was putting them in there. And then I open this closet, and I've got the Archies mostly organized down here. And you see I have 2 copies of that Super Cops. So I put that there, put the Archies here, get them into those boxes. I've got a lot of room where I can put stuff in this closet here. And these X-Men, let's get them filed. That's 28. See, some of my early X-Men don't have titles. The logo's been cut off by the newsstand dealer. Now that one doesn't have a cover. There's number 8, 22, 24. I've got 2 of 24, 27, 28. I'm going to even put the reprint in there. There's 31, 35, 40. Okay. Alright. So. Oh, man. I'm going to try to save power because global warming, climate change. Or is it the new ice age? Well, yeah, climate change I think is the current cool expression to use. Because climate change, it just means things are going to change. It could be a new ice age, it could be getting hotter. But right now, everybody's complaining that it's hot in the middle of July. I don't ever remember it being hot in the middle of July. It's kind of shocking. But they said on CNN that it's weird for it to be hot at the end of July. And they always tell the truth. Okay, fantastic. There's my wife as a baby there. How about that? I'm still trying to identify this painting. You know, it's not from the Rocket Blast comic collector. It's painted by F.E. Hamilton, October '68. All I know, it was printed in some fanzine. So, if you know where it came from, I'm still trying to find that out. So, as soon as I finish this episode, I'm going to get moving all that stuff from that main room downstairs. Maybe I'll do that now. Let me get this phone charger. lamp off so we can build the climate back better, ladies and gentlemen. And this flashing star is draining the ecosystem, man. Ugh. Okay. Well, turn this light off too. Oh, this light is still on in the... Yeah, every inch of the house that I get cleared, it really is a morale boost. It really feels good. Oh shit! This is on because I must have left the light on in that closet. The chandelier over the stairs is controlled by a light switch way in here. This house is very strange. So when I was filing this, oh, you know, the thing is, what controls, see, there's a light here, see, and look, if I pull the string, well, hold on, I can turn it off like that, or I can turn it off like that. But if I turn it off like that and leave this switch on, then that, so I really need to turn this off and that off. And then that's the only way you can turn on that chandelier. So you have to go into a closet inside of a closet and flip that switch to control the light over the stairs. It's just one of those things, man. Okay, now the chandelier should be off, and it is off. Okay. There you are, Drew. What are you up to? Yeah, all right. Let's see. I gotta plug this phone in. It's warning me that the battery is almost dead. Hold on. I'm limited to sticking close to the electricity outlet, so let me bring something over that I can show you to entertain you. All right. All right. Here's a new Star Trek adventure. How about that? Devil World. Mirror Friend, Mirror Foe. George Takei wrote this novel. Look how he's drawn himself, or he said someone draw himself as a hero. Someone had programmed the robots too well, and now it was kill or be killed. Did you know George Takei wrote a fucking novel? Look at this cool edition. Tales of Mystery, Edgar Allan Poe. Leonard Nimoy, I Am Not Spock. When I was in 3rd grade, my brother would read to me from this book. He'd just open randomly, and it would have just horribly explicit, gory things about people being ripped apart, and he'd read passages showing just tanks destroying people. And so anyway, All Quiet on the Western Front. This is a very gory novel. Welcome back, Cotter. 10 to 4 Sweat Hogs. 101 Aggie jokes. This may be something exclusive to Texas. They sell this like at the drugstore. I got this in San Antonio, and it's just seems like there was something in here that was a little bit dirty looking, that I remember feeling a little guilty, and as a little kid owning this book. I mean, the jokes are PG rated, but they're just jokes from I don't know, I can't find it. Anyway, basically Aggie jokes. It would make the people in Austin, at University of Texas in Austin, would make fun of the Aggies. And look, this was meant to be sent like a postcard. You put a stamp on it and send this book without a wrapper, apparently. Here's a book about angels. I don't remember these angels on the motorcycles, though. This is another little gift book. It looks like it's got like something for every letter in the alphabet about angels. Here's some shadow novels. I may have already shown these. Leigh Brackett wrote in the style of Edgar Rice Burroughs, and part of an admission, I would think, George Lucas never really admits that he took a lot from Edgar Rice Burroughs' Barsoom novels, when he wrote Star Wars. But the fact that for Empire Strikes Back, he got Leigh Brackett to write the script, or the initial script, is kind of proof that, yeah, he admired Edgar Rice Burroughs. Earth was paralyzed by the attack of the beast and helpless to fight their masters on a distant star. Day of the Beast. Time Echo. What I'm doing is I'm showing you these books, and I'm going to take them over to the library and set them in there, and that's going to clear off more space in this room. Novelization of 1941. Now this is cool. This is Harvey Kurtzman's Goodman Beaver in the form Executive's Comic Book. So you can tell that this was put out around the time of the Batman TV show, just trying to cash in on the pop art camp craze.
Now taste the best. Golden Pioneer chicken, like it was cooked over an open campfire. Pioneer chicken has a deep, rich Western flavor.
All right.
That just never happened to chicken
So.
before. And there's lots more to like a Pioneer. It's the biggest steakhouse menu in the West, like shrimp.
Let's get some of these books over there.
Beef and pastrami, corn cob, onion rings, and more, all at easy-going prices.
Well, there's a all-girl band It's like the Ventures. They're called the Surfragettes. It's a surf instrumental band, and they all have their hair done 60s style and wear mini skirts. They're out of Canada, and they're touring the United States. They're not coming anywhere near here, but they're coming to Fort Worth. So I told my old friend Gerald yesterday, hey, you got to go see, because he worships the Surfragettes. He's got, you know, everything they've ever done. He's a big Ventures fan, and so he's all excited, and he's going to go see them. That's in early August, but you should check out the Surfragettes on Facebook or wherever you, or just look it up on the internet and see if they're going to play in a town near you. I think they're about to sweep through Texas. They're going to play 2 places in Austin on the same day. And anyway, I should check to see if there's any mail. Bubble Up used to be a sponsor of the Gratu Orloff show, but you know, they kind of disappeared. I need to recontact them and see if they want to pay us another $5 million, and we'll continue advertising them. But for now, fuck them. Let's see. If you want to advertise on the Gratu Orloff show, it's a cool $5 million. All right, let's go on down to the basement. There's Pete the Cat, the famous Pete the Cat. And this is how you get to the mailbox, or one of the mailboxes. Is anything in here? Nothing but some dead bugs. Well, there's another mailbox. It's possible there could be some mail in it. And here's all the autograph photos. We need to straighten them a little bit. Of people that have visited the underground pinball parlor here in Mount Gratu, Wyoming. Oh, I've got to get on a plane later today. The Donald Trump rally in Arizona was rescheduled to tomorrow. It was supposed to be last Saturday. I had the plane fueled and ready to go. But his ex-wife passed away. Passed away sounds so gentle to being falling down the stairs. Is that, you call that passing away? I guess so. Hopefully Adam Schiff didn't push her. But anyway, he went to the funeral. The funeral was yesterday. Now he's about to head to Arizona, but I need to get there because I think I go on third. There's going to be, I think, 4 or 5 speakers. I'm going on right after Mike Lindell tomorrow. So I'll be, if you're a big fan of the Gratu Orloff show, you need to make sure you tune in to Right Side Broadcasting tomorrow to see the incredible Donald Trump rally. That's Friday night at 7 o'clock Central. I'll be on probably about 5:15 Central Time. Okay, so in the garage, I still have all of this. Now that's weird. Why is... I opened the doorknob and now my finger is wet. Why is this doorknob wet? There is a leak that I have this here because there's a leak when it rains really hard. Oh, I don't know what the... Oh, it was because I had that water bottle in my hand a minute ago. I was drinking water, and that's why I'm fucking going insane here, man. Oh, there is mail over here. So I've got to get all this shit and all of this stuff. This stuff that needs to be organized too. But it used to be a lot worse. I just try to work at it a little bit each day, and that's all you can do. Let's see, what kind of stuff did we get here? Get 30% off from Real Eats. Some catalog. King size. Oh, they know I'm fat, huh? How do they know that? They must watch the show. Swimwear for all. Oh, these are the two. This mail was supposed to have shown up 3 days ago because there's this weird thing. They sent out my email the packages and letters that are supposed to show up that day, and they showed a picture of this damn thing 2 days ago, and oh, someone wants to buy my property back in Texas. Fantastic. All right. Let's start. Every time I come out here, I want to take something in to build back better, man. Let's grab these boxes. Every time I come out, I've got to bring something in. That's the rules. Yeah, so those letters must have been put in a neighbor's mailbox or something, and because they wound up showing up 2 or 3 days late. I think they're credit card offers. Okay, wonderful. The other option is I could use this garage to be a store. And once I clear it all out, this could be a pretty big store. And I just need to get some, make sure it's cool. That's something I could do, I guess. But I wish one of you guys or some of you guys out there, if you're retired or something, would move here, and then maybe we could go into business together, running a comic book store or something, and that could be a fun thing. But it's something I'm thinking of doing. There's a great demand for a lot of things here. Restaurants. If you want to get your nails done, you have to get on a waiting list. That you might be a month. You want your dog groomed, it's like a couple of month waiting list. Because there's just not enough people to do this stuff. So. Okay, so what else can I organize here? Converto kit. Oh, this stuff fell over. I need to take these model kit boxes up to that closet where I had the famous monster stuff. This model kit Sling Rave Corvette. I used to do a magazine called The Sophisticate, but I also did one called Sling Rave Corvette. I should show you that. Actually, Sling Rave Corvette, the premise behind it was supposed to be the Sophisticate for girls. It was supposed to be a girl-oriented magazine. But in reality, it was just the same as the other magazine. Yeah, I forgot I was trying to start a publishing empire back in the 90s, and I had 2 different magazines I was doing. And I think I just found them in this box here. I'll show them to you real quick. And I may need to get something to eat. Okay, they were here. Oh, here they are. We need more light than this. That's not enough.